Hey everybody, Matthew here from MiniWargaming.com with Lee.
Hey.
Down in this dungeon, or fungeon.
Well, let's go with Fungeon.
It's fungeon, we'll call it the fungeon.
It's been called worse.
That's true. It's from Wreck-It Ralph, man. It's from Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to be taking a look at the Deffwatch. This is a bit of a behind the scenes for these guys, and so I just want to show them off because Lee's been working hard and come up with some really awesome models. And we're going to be, basically what we're doing is we're doing a Deffwatch campaign, which is an Ork Deffwatch. I'll get more into the story of it, but essentially they're genetically modified orcs. So they're super orcs. They're not just like orcs that have narrative armor to let them be better. Like they actually are better than the average orc. And so I commissioned, I don't know what you call it. Yeah, I commissioned Lee. I basically told Lee my idea, and then he got obsessed and started building orc models, which is what I wanted to happen. You did, yes. And he wasn't even the next on his line of things to projects. I'm like, after you do this, here's this stuff.
Finish this terrain first.
And all of a sudden he comes up and a couple hours later, he's like, look what I have.
Yeah, that was the first one, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I want to just show them off. And I'm just going to have Lee describe a bit. I'm going to ask him questions. Feel free to post questions in the comments below. And
shoot emails.
Yeah, send like whatever. Yeah, post comments mostly for questions, and I'll do my best to go in there and answer because I've been following along with Lee's progression as well. Also, if you're not following us on Facebook, then you're missing out on a lot because I post a lot of pictures there of work in progress stuff. And so you get a lot of these little extra videos in there too. So follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/miniwargaming, or you're already watching us on Facebook because I've posted it there as well. So essentially, there's going to be 10 of the Deffwatch orcs in total. We've got 5 of them at this stage of completion, which is obviously mostly built. I'd say 95% done. Or is it 100% done at this point?
I'm calling them done.
They're done, okay.
Yeah.
And then they just obviously need to be painted, because this is not their color scheme. So we have the Mega Knob. There's basically twins. There's twin Mega Knobs. This is Duff Grim, and his other brother is Grim Duff. And Duff Grim is more brutal than cunning, and the other one is more cunning than brutal, so he'll be in heavy armor with guns, whereas this guy is just everything that's not subtle. So I basically told Lee, there's a couple things I need to preamble this all with. First off, each Deffwatch orc I wanted to be huge. And so after lots of work, you basically thought the best way to do this is by using the Ogren model. Do you have an Ogren body handy? No. Or just the one that's over there where you've just slapped the head on?
Yeah, this one.
So, yeah, and then you've extended his torso on this one too. So you took the Ogren body, so the Astra Militarum Ogren, and in this case, he's done something different with each of them, but this one he's enhanced it, and then you stick the orc head on, and that's your base, and that's what you've used to then build these models. And so we have our flash kit right here.
Because a lot of these are just like out of the sprue Ogrens. With orc heads and orc shields and stuff. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then just lots of bits and stuff added onto it. That's a wonderful thing about orcs, is that you can add bits everywhere and it actually looks correct, which is nice. And this is 100% Games Workshop parts. Not that you have to do that, but it just is what it is. Yeah. So, except for the green stuff and plasticard and elastic bands used for different things, as you will see. So this is our flash kit, for example. So I just want you to get an idea of a regular size guy. And so this gun is custom built. What is that? A big shooter, some rockets. What is it? Where are these pieces from?
That's actually a flash kit SNAS gun.
Okay, that's a SNAS gun.
Yeah, rocket launcher, Gatling shooter, and big shooter.
So this is one of the flash kit's guns.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just custom built it from that, and then put on this. And then what about the ammo packs in the back?
Those are from, I think they're just from the Orc Boy. Or the flash kits. It's just missile launchers and
just a bunch of them all slapped on there. A proper amount of ammo.
Yeah.
Rather than the small amounts that you see everybody else have. So to give a size comparison, that's an orc. This is a Mega Knob. And this is a War Boss. From which one is this from?
That was from Black
Reach.
That's the one I built Mega Armor for.
Yeah, and this one actually Lee custom built and sold to us before he worked for us, which is kind of fun. So you see that they're roughly the size of a War Boss. Now, to be honest, if Games Workshop were to redo their orc kits, you can bet that everything would get a lot bigger. That War Boss would be huge compared to that. And I look forward to the day that they do that because I think the orcs they deserve an upgrade to their size now that the Space Marines have been getting that, and everybody else for that matter. So that's the flash kit. So I wanted to show you that size because the next one I wanted to talk about was dude mister up here, Duff Grim. Now this one is a little trickier because I said for the knobs, I wanted them to be a head taller than the rest of them. Now you might think this is more than a head taller, but actually if you look at it, if you stand him up to right where his feet are, you can see that he's actually, and you look at the top of the head of the knob on the right, you can see he's only about a head taller. It's just his Def Dread armor makes him look enormous. So in the end, you decided that you wanted to use a Gorger kit. Now we don't actually have a Gorger. I went upstairs to see if we have one free.
I think we do.
But I can...
So if you want to pause it for a second, we'll be right back with a Gorger.
Oh, we do have one? Because Josh thought we didn't.
We do.
Okay.
And we're back with a Gorger.
Ta-da! Okay, so you did have one. That's good.
Yeah.
So this is a really... It's a chunk of metal. It's a metal model.
Yeah,
that's kind of annoying, but I want to get a nice close-up on it because this one's all black, so it's going to be a little harder to see. But he basically said, well, I want to use this model. And I looked at them and I thought,
what?
How? I realized size-wise it's the right size, but how are you going to pull that off? But we got a couple of them, and so basically you took this and you chopped it to pieces.
Not really.
No?
It's just like the way the model's assembled.
So where are you chopping it?
You got the arms. The torso's actually...
You want to just pop it apart? You can pop it apart.
Oh, I can't.
No, you can't? Ow.
But yeah, you can see here, there's a seam.
That's the torso.
So what I did, I actually have the other knob that I'm working on. You can see better on him.
So this is the one that's going to be more cunning than brutal.
Yeah, he's not going to be wearing big armor.
No. He'll be better at like orders and stuff like that, which we'll talk about rules some other time.
Compare the waists.
Yeah, you can see they're very similar. And so, yeah, so basically, if we look at this model right here.
Yeah, I placed the top part of the torso at an angle and just pinned it and filled it in.
I see.
Just to straighten him out.
So what did you do for this guy?
Pretty much exactly the same as for this guy.
And that's an orc head, obviously,
yeah.
Not the Gorger head. And so then so there he is in there. I'm not sure if you can tell, but that's the Gorger arm right there. These Gorgers were painted already. That's why you see some color in there, but it's all getting repainted. Those are elastic bands, right?
Yeah.
For the arm straps and stuff.
Yeah. Strap
hides the gaps nicely as well between the transitions. And the body's in there, and then those are his legs. Now, there's legs been green stuffed.
Yeah.
Over top of the legs, so it's not like those legs are pure green stuff.
No, I wanted to give him pants and boots.
Yeah, so just
you can see the boots better from looking at them from behind.
So you green stuffed boots onto him.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then you thought, what better way to make mega armor for a knob?
Originally, I was just gonna use bits from all kinds of kits, and then I realized, why don't I just take the front off Def Dread and put in? You can just wear that like an exosuit,
like a power suit. Yeah, like an exosuit.
So
pretty awesome. So he's not like, we look at the typical mega knob, and they're actually wearing their armor.
Yeah, they're in the armor.
It's power armor. It actually is power armor. And whereas this one is exosuit, which is pretty darn awesome. Any special things for the conversion of the Def Dread armor that you'd want to talk about that people might ask?
Well,
are those just Def Dread arms, for example?
These are just, I had them assembled already. I didn't even have to change them. So I just made sure they fit. But the only thing I did, because I wanted better articulation in the legs, these are actually Sentinel legs.
Oh yeah, look at that. I actually even recognize those. That's pretty cool.
So they're very spindly, but they do the job.
Cool. And then just some plastic art here and there.
Yeah, all the white bits are plastic art. Just as a comparison.
So apparently when you take this and spread it out and stick a guy inside of it, it gets bigger. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, so he's going to be a beast in close combat, obviously. No subtlety there whatsoever. And so there's basically two teams. There's two 5-man teams. There's going to be the brutal team and the cunning team. So Quirk will be running the brutal team, and Steve will be running the cunning team. So he's part of the brutal. He's part of the brutal. This guy's part of the brutal, and then these guys are part of the cunning. Just whatever order you were inspired to make them in. So this is our Storm Boy. So this was actually the first one that you showed me.
Yeah, like 2 hours later.
Yeah, you're like, look what I made, which I love how that you can do that with orcs. And of course it helps if you have the master crafting skills that Lee has. He gets to reroll all his ones when assembling. And so this, once again, you can just see this is a basic Ogren body. Now what'd you use for the jump packs?
Those are actually Storm Boy jump packs.
All three of them?
Yeah.
And you just slap three of them on him?
Yeah, he's a big guy. He needs 3.
What about the big choppa?
That's from the knob kit.
So it's actually just an huge chopper?
Yeah.
Awesome. And the gun?
The gun is, I think it's even just like a regular shooter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
Yeah.
What about anything about his armor? That's
The head is from the knobs. Then I took from one of the bike riders. They have like shoulder pads with saw blades on them, so I put that on top of his head to give him a crest.
Oh, on top of his head. Come on, camera, focus.
Focus camera.
There we go.
And then they have like jaw plates and stuff all over the place, so I made arm guards with those.
Nice. Oh yeah, look at that.
And I did the same with the feet. I added jaw plates onto the front of the feet. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, he's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
He's very imposing because of that huge jump pack. And once he's all painted up, it'll look even better. But yeah, he's pretty cool. Once again, size comparison.
Yeah, he's big.
They're huge. Then we got our Commando. And it's okay, that's supposed to come off. It's not done yet. And so this is your version of an Orc Sniper Rifle. So what are these bits, pray tell?
So that's a heavy bolter, obviously. And autocannon.
You say obviously, but I didn't actually catch that when I looked at it.
The viewers will.
I know.
I have faith in them.
Some of them will, yeah.
And just plastic card, and that's actually an extra handle from the flash kits. They have extra handles for their guns.
And then you just obviously plastic carded in the what do you call
I
that?
just
The
gouged
cocking.
out. Yeah, I gouged out.
So is that the size of a round?
Yeah.
That's one round.
The rounds are right that big.
I love it.
That's probably the only non-Game Workshop bit I've used so far.
What are they?
They're actually from the walkers from the Matrix, the toys they made.
Oh, jeez.
And I have like belts and belts of these.
That's awesome. And that backpack, what is that from?
That's from Snickrot.
So it's Snickrot's backpack. That's
And
why
his- and his
is that a
head.
fine cast?
Yeah.
So you just slapped on his backpack
And his head.
because it worked.
He used
And his head.
Yeah.
Because it works. He's got all the right gear for it. And then he's just got his...
That's from the Ogre Kingdom, one of the hunters.
Right.
I think it's like, yeah, it's a bear trap sword. It's awesome.
It is. So there's him, and you're going to be gluing that on there, obviously.
Yeah, and he might seem shorter because I actually
he's
resculpted
crouched.
his legs.
Yeah. Yeah, he's crouched down.
So it's supposed to be like so. It's supposed to be surveying.
Awesome. And then we got our very weird boy. So this one was a little different. It's got a bunch of different kits as part of it because you're wondering what you're going to do for it. So what process did you go through? Why don't you just point out what you built this out of?
So the legs are like an issue because I wanted his chest to be like semi-bare so you can actually see his muscles and stuff, but not too much. And what I ended up using was one of the Vargeist torsos.
It's hard to see in there because it's covered in so much stuff.
Yeah.
What about the big hair in the back? Is
That's
that part of the
actually part of
Vargeist?
the model.
Why don't you pull us out or show us the picture?
So we've got crypt flares, and there's in the instructions you can actually make. There's two types of characters they have.
No, we had these lying around because we wanted all the wings for
Yeah.
some shrikes, so we happen to have all these models.
So
So most of this was built from stuff that we happen to have lying around. Now, I know it's unusual the amount of stuff we have lying around. But,
No.
yeah. They did buy the Ogrins, but...
yeah, it's one of the Vargeists. You can see the instructions.
And there's his hairy back.
Yeah. So that's a zero conversion. That's just off the sprue. But the thing is, I decided to use that one because I'm going to paint them up like maybe green or pink flame or whatever.
Yeah, like there's these warp flames coming out of them.
Yeah.
So let's get it back
So,
in
and
focus.
that's the arms from the same kit. And then the staff and the head are from the 40k Weird Boy.
It's not focusing.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah, so staff and the head are actually the Weird
Yeah,
Boy.
you can see they're fine cast. Lighter color.
And what about the cloaks?
The cloaks are from the Iron George Shaman.
Orc Weird Boy? Weird Knob Shaman?
Yeah. Because they actually come as a separate piece on the kit. So I could just like semi-assemble them, cut them up, and I just laid them over his arms and done.
And then you added all sorts of trinkets to his elastic belt.
Yeah, it's got an elastic band belt.
Of course. Why not, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's one size fits all. And as he eats and gets bigger,
So
the belt will expand with him.
Yeah. And snap back when he loses weight. So I basically scoured all the bits we have for like trinkets and all kinds of like relics and stuff. So you can maybe see something from every race.
Try to get a few in there, right?
Yeah. He's got Space Wolves, he's got Space Marines, he's got an Orc Skull, he's got an Elder Glyph, a sensor there, and some other stuff. Because I finished him and we didn't like the way he looked because his belt was empty.
Yeah, like he looked good, but he just looked incomplete. Yeah. So that's when you add all that stuff, and that really finished him off. Cool. So that's our weird boy, and then these are just more. These are you had this idea. You were on Pinterest, I think, and you saw this, and I'll try to remember to post a link in the description to where you saw these because I want to give credit where credit is due.
Props.
Yeah, but these are basically Orc Drones. Yeah. So you built these. I'm going to try to see if I remember. Those are rhino hatches. Mm-hmm. So 2 rhino hatches, one back to back, basically.
Sandwiched.
And then you've got that face is from the Def Dread kit. Obviously, those are just guns from. These are the Mega Blastas. Yep. And then what about that rocket pack on top? What is that?
That's from the Storm Boys. It's an extra rocket to go on top.
I see. And then this one's just big shooters, and this is supposed to be loose, by the way. Yeah. Same idea. So just different things. So this is going to be for the Big Mac. He'll have a couple drones flying around him, obeying his commands and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I realized that I'm at the halfway point now. I've done 5.
Yes.
So 5 more to do.
Yeah, and then you got to paint them all up. Yeah. That'll be interesting. Yeah. So this is Face Stompa's boys. So I think we showed everything. Obviously, there's still a lot more work to do because they have to be painted and 5 more guys have to be built. But I hope that you enjoyed that. Leave comments below if you have any questions about how they're built. We're going to be starting. If you have questions about the Deffwatch narrative campaign, like I can imagine a couple of them would be when it's going to be going up. Well, we're going to start filming it in a couple weeks, and I want to actually film most of it.
If I stay on schedule.
Yeah, if you stay on schedule, yeah. And it's 2.5 weeks actually from now. But then I'd like to film most of it before we actually start publishing it, if not all of it. So you're probably looking at least a month to a month and a half before we publish this. It might even be longer. But I'll try to keep you updated. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/miniwargaming. I'll post more pictures there. I've actually taken a lot of pictures of these as he's worked on them, so I can show some more work in progress. And I'll post pictures of other ones, as well as today I posted the rules for this guy, at least some draft rules. I've already changed a couple things, but I've actually worked out the rules for all 5 of these. And I've built them in such a way that you can actually use them in your army in regular 8th edition. I've given them points levels and power level and all that, and tried to write their rules so that it's not so much a sense of balance I was looking for, but more a sense of interaction of how they work with everything else. So like the Storm Boy buffs other Storm Boys, the Flash Git buffs other Flash Gits. The Weird Boy acts a lot like the Weird Boy, except he has his own psychic discipline to draw from. All that kind of stuff. So it kind of fits with the theme of the orcs as well, so you can play it in regular games if you want to. And then, of course, they're not built for match play, obviously. It's more for narrative or open play, because we're building it for a narrative campaign. So yeah, so you should expect to see that in the next month and a half to 2 months for this one to come out, which I'm really excited for. We're going to have a lot of fun filming it. Okay, that's it. Thanks, Lee, for all your hard work. Happy wargaming.